What's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk about basically getting a head start on the update. You can see in the top right corner, it's about 24 hours until this patch notes, or rather the patch itself drops and is actually implemented into the game. Now, I will probably be staying up tomorrow to try to go ahead and actually get a video out on how to unlock the new difficulties or hell difficulties, but I'll give you a little bit of speculation here for those of you that are just going to grind out the update as soon as it starts and what I'll be doing as soon as it starts. So jumping over to the patch here, obviously we can't like grind for server paragon or grind levels or anything like that, because by the time this video drops you'll have like 12 hours to do what you can, get your combat rating as high as it possibly can be, and then do all that type of stuff. But there's a few things in here. We have like the new zone, the new hell difficulties, and so the first thing that I'll immediately do is unlock the highest hell difficulty I possibly can. Now, they don't give us many specifics as to how this will work. They say you'll unlock it by beating a Heliquary boss. Cool. Is it going to be a certain level cap? Meaning, as other hell difficulties already were in the game, you couldn't use that gear until you reach that certain level. So it may not even be worthwhile to go and unlock, let's say, Hell 7, because Hell 6 might be still worth going for because it'll be a big combat rating boost. So based on that, if they don't have a level minimum or anything like that, I would immediately unlock the highest hell difficulty I possibly could. Most likely, if you are a decent, dedicated player, you'll be able to easily unlock Hell 6. If you are a spender and a dedicated player, you might be able to unlock Hell 7. And unless you're a 7K Resonance player that has been grinding as well, I don't think many people are going to unlock Hell 8 immediately after it's launched. Hell 7 may even be a stretch, but at the minimum, most people should be unlocking Hell 6 and killing Ophaneb as a group, assuming that you can find a group, before you even jump into any portion of the update, because all of what you drop in that area will now be Hell 6 quality instead of Hell 5 quality. So you'll get bonuses, and if there's no level minimum, then you'll be on a fast track to getting to Hell 7, and then after that, a fast track to getting to Hell 8, which is the biggest goal here of this update. On top of that, we have the new zone. And this is the critical part, because as I said, you should unlock Hell 6 before getting to the new zone. Well, really what you should be doing is the storyline before you even jump into anything else. But before you do the storyline, you get your hell difficulty, then you immediately jump into the storyline. Now, the reason I suggest this is because I actually have an alt account where I skipped the entire story and just did Elder Rift straight to level 60. And I actually had to double back and do a little bit of the storyline because it actually locked certain pieces of content based on me not doing the storyline. Which I didn't even realize, because on my first account, I did the storyline. That was kind of the perceived best method to level up. And that's what I did. But on my alt, I decided to skip the storyline, just see what Elder Rifts were like. And I found that when I got to my Paragon, I was like, oh, well, I have to double back and do my storyline anyways. So 100% get to that higher hell difficulty and then immediately do the storyline, because there could be a piece of content in this update or with the new storyline that we do not know about that could be locked behind that storyline. After you get done with the storyline, after you get your hell difficulty, guess what? No surprise here, we're going to be farming, okay? We're going to be farming a lot. Now, obviously, the new dailies change things, okay? So if you saw here, the bounty chest is better. The completed bestiary every day is going to give it first legendary, and 3 dungeons are going to get a guaranteed set item, which means that as soon as you're done with storyline and as soon as you're done getting to Hell 6, assuming that you can't get to Hell 7 because you're not high combat rating, or that Hell 7 is far away in terms of level, you're going to want to run through and do each of these steps in Hell 6 on the new zone. You can also do it not necessarily on the new zone, but just get to Hell 6 first, because guess what? The guaranteed set item is going to be a guaranteed Hell 6 set piece, which will presumably be a nice combat rating boost. The bestiary quest will guarantee a legendary drop, which will be Hell 6 quality, again, a nice boost. And then the bounties, assuming that these are actually worth doing, I can't confirm that yet. It might take me a couple days because I'm going to go ahead and do a bounty. The bounties, I have several 24 stacked up right now, so I'll do all 24 on that first day, and then hopefully post a video on the second day or the third day talking about the bounties and whether or not I think it's worth doing compared to what it was previously. But basically, getting your guaranteed legendary and your guaranteed set item will be a nice combat rating boost. And again, if we assume that they didn't have any server paragon minimum or maximum for hell difficulties, you may be able to immediately jump into Hell 7. which will be a nice boost because then you can take advantage of the daily guaranteed sets and daily guaranteed legendary in the higher difficulties, which is really, really nice. Or you could have someone carry you, assuming again that they're not capped by levels. You can just have someone carry you through Hell 7 if you happen to have that ability, which is going to be really, really nice. After all of that, after you've gone ahead and you gotten your Hell unlocked, you've done your storyline, you've gotten your free items, guess what, guys? We're back to the standard Diablo Immortal grind. There isn't really much what we can do outside of that. There's a lot of things in this update, right? The set items and all that type of stuff, the new dungeon drops, all the type of stuff that's in this update is all good. But the natural gameplay experience is going to be exactly the same. Once we've unlocked our daily free, I shouldn't say free, but our guaranteed legendary, our guaranteed set item, we're back to open world farming. And I highly suggest that we open world farm first. The reason for this is you're going to be able to get a lot of legendaries immediately. You can also go straight to the gambler and hopefully gamble away some pieces of gear into new Hell items. Now, this only works if they've added something into the challenge rift for Hell 6, 7, and 8. Okay. The reason why I say that is because, well, currently there's no way to boost up your, once we've unlocked the higher Hell difficulties, assuming you can't go higher immediately recently, if you're really close to a Hell difficulty in terms of combat rating, maybe you'll just jump into that one. The first thing you should be doing is open world farming and dungeon farming. Okay, first thing you should be doing is dungeon farming. The reason for this is the difference between your set items between what you have currently and the ones you unlock is going to be a bigger combat rating boost than your legendary items between what they are now and what you can acquire in Hell 6. So dungeons first. This is a very important mechanic, and that's exactly what I'll be doing after I do my storyline and all the dailies. Then you can start farming open world. Now, I will say, I was thinking, okay, maybe we could do some gambling here, but the problem with that is that if we go and jump into West March here, this is one of the things I mentioned, save your gold, because we don't know what higher Hell difficulties are coming. Well, guess what? Gold is going to be extremely useful to get your first initial upgrades in those Hell difficulties, because you can just spend it for immediate upgrades. However, if we jump over to West March and we just jump into the challenge rifts, most people misunderstand how the challenge rift drops work because it doesn't actually affect your open world drops. It affects your vendor drops. It affects your random drops through events and things like that. It doesn't actually affect your open world drops. But again, because I'm talking about gambling here, we're going to need to find out whether or not they've added something in these later challenge rifts here to go ahead and beat it. As you can see here, reaching Paragon 240 and completing this challenge rift will improve items acquired in challenge rifts. Hell 5 at 140. Now, I haven't really tried any challenge rifts recently, but assuming that they'll add a new one in the later challenge rifts, you're going to want to pick that up before you do any gambling, because otherwise it'll be the quality of Hell 5. So keep that in mind. But gambling is a really good way to get initial combat rating as well. And that's what I'll leave with you guys. There isn't really much I could say after that. I don't really know how, again, all the intricacies of Hell difficulty works. That'll be my first video as I drop. I'll probably drop it literally the morning of this update, because I think it's incredibly important for people to understand whether or not you're going to need a minimum server paragon to go ahead and use the items. It's also important to note if Hell 5 will be now capped, if they're going to reduce this level cap. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop this to say, okay, now you can't get infinitely scaling items up into Paragon 600. It'll be dropped to like Paragon 350 or something. So now you can't even get upgrades from Hell 5, which is incredibly important. And then of course we need to know, okay, are they going to add some sort of challenge rift mechanic to be able to gamble? What are they going to do in terms of Hell 6 in the game? And of course, just farm a bunch of set items. I mean, that's really what the best thing to do is, because there's so much combat rating difference in those set items because of the different Hell difficulties. That's going to be your major upgrade. So hopefully this helps, guys. Again, I'm sorry I can't give you any more specifics because I don't know what they're going to be doing realistically for this patch when it launches in terms of the specifics of Hell difficulty, but hopefully I'll get to that as soon as possible as this update launches. I'll be experimenting with it as much as I possibly can the day of, and hopefully giving you all that information that day. So if you want to check that out, be sure to sub to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all tomorrow.